Hello, Homestead. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now for a moment of silence.
From Homestead Media, this is HHS In Depth.
Today is Friday, August 25th. Welcome to another episode of HHS In Depth. To start us off, I'm going to share a quick rundown of today's show. We'll hear from Principal Mrs. Summers as she gives students advice on how to adapt to the new school year. And Jaron Ellis introduces us to some new faculty faces that we can see around the Homestead hallways. Later on, we'll see updates on the new Homestead building project and the changes that were made over the summer. And later, we'll bring you an all-new Down to the Wire, where Graham DeWitt will recap the past week's sports news at Homestead. Keep watching. You'll see all of this today and more on HHS In Depth. Hello, and thank you for joining us today. This is HHS In Depth. I'm Mara Nicholson.
And I'm Emily Adams. And Mara, the weather this week was a little bit warmer than what was expected for this time of year.
It sure was. I was burning up all of yesterday, but hopefully this week will feel a little bit better. Let's bring in our weather reporter, Owen Kruger, now. And Owen, can you tell us when the heat will die down?
Sure thing, Mara. Today will be a nice relief from the past 2 days, but things should turn back to normal heading into the weekend and next week, so be sure to continue your outdoor activities. I'll be back a little later on with the weekend weather report. Back to you guys in the studio.
We appreciate the weather report, Owen, and the good news about the lower temperatures.
Make sure to get outside this weekend in order to take advantage of the mid-70 temps, especially after this past couple of days.
Hopefully those nice days last longer than just the weekend. Owen will be back to give us a full week update a little later.
HHS In Depth, national news.
And now let's shift our focus from the skies to the nation's headlines. In recent national news, Tropical Storm Hilary made contact on U.S. soil last Sunday, but has since triggered record-breaking rainfall across 4 U.S. states: Idaho, Montana, Nevada, and Oregon. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association's Weather Prediction Center confirmed the records as Hilary's path led it from California to the Northern Rockies after initially making landfall in Mexico. This occurrence adds to the 9 new state rainfall amount records set in the past 6 years, partly attributed to climate change. In other news, President Biden visited Lahaina, Maui, where wildfires that started 2 weeks ago claimed more than 100 lives and has left more than 1,000 people missing. Interrupting his Nevada vacation, Biden met survivors, hugged Hawaii Governor Josh Green, and took an aerial tour of the destruction. Sporting a green and yellow lei, he assured the community the entire country is here for you. Biden faced criticism for waiting to visit Maui for nearly 2 weeks after the fires, a delay the White House said was necessary to avoid interfering with search and rescue efforts.
Thank you, Emily, for keeping us informed about national news. Shifting our attention to matters closer to home, HHS In Depth reporter Ryan Weidler recently caught up with Principal Mrs. Summers for our annual sit-down interview to get her thoughts on the state of Homestead High School as we start another school year.
With the start of the new school year, there's plenty ahead to look forward to. I caught up with Ms. Summers to let students know what they can expect.
I think this time of year, the thing I look forward to the most are the things I don't know that are going to happen. Homestead students are hard workers and they want to achieve at the highest of levels. So what that results in, there's going to be things that happen academically and in the arts and in athletics that are going to be amazing and memorable and things that people talk about forever. And you don't know what that is, but you know it's going to happen.
With a few new areas of the building opening, Mrs. Summers also looks forward to new technology and opportunities for students.
Once the art rooms open, then we're going to have academic rooms start opening one by one in the east part of the building. Once the room is ready, the teacher will say, we're meeting in this new space. It has state-of-the-art sound systems, really good projection systems. And eventually, when the whole area is done, there's going to be collaboration areas so that students can sit in the hallway doing group projects during class time with a lot of technology on the walls, flat screens and things to wirelessly project to. That will actually start happening this semester one by one, and that's pretty exciting.
For the new students coming to Homestead, Mrs. Summers encourages everyone to get involved and stay on top of their schoolwork.
Don't get yourself in a hole by not turning in the first couple of assignments or not studying for a quiz or a test. Our teachers are amazing. They ask a lot of the students, but there's so much support that's in place. So get everything turned in. Use all of the study materials they provide for experiences like that, and do your personal best. And if you don't understand something, ask questions, because our students are so helpful. They will help you get the information you need. Our teachers will help you, and you can be successful. And the other advice would be get involved in something besides the classes. So find a club. We have over 100 clubs, everything from Chicken Nuggets Club to things like Key Club, where the students are united in going out into the community and doing good works. Get involved in sports, get involved in the arts. That's what you'll remember most.
This year, there are tons of things to get involved with and look forward to. Ms. Summers also reminds students to get their work done and spread kindness throughout the building. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Ryan Weidler.
Thank you, Ryan and Principal Summers, for this year's annual update. Stick around, we'll be right back.
Tonight, the Spartans take on the Noblesville Millers in a Week 2 high school football showdown. Watch the game at 7:30 on the IHSAA Champions Network. Welcome back to HHS In Depth.
Welcome back. Homestead's robotics team will be having its annual call-out meeting after school on Tuesday, August 29th in room 942. The meeting will last until 4 p.m. You do not have to know anything about robotics or engineering. You just have to have a willingness to participate and learn with the team. There will be many positions within the team that do not directly involve the robot, like marketing, finance, public relations, and so much more. Be ready to get out there next Tuesday.
All students, even seniors, the July of 2024 Panama Adventure Trip is currently taking signups. Students interested in whitewater rafting, ziplining, surfing, snorkeling, and more should contact Mrs. Bush at the email address shown here for more information and to be added to the email list as they plan their call-out meetings soon. Scan the QR code below for more information.
Are you ready to travel? You have an opportunity to go to the South Pacific next summer. There will be an informational meeting Tuesday, August 29th at 6 p.m. in room 902 in the Freshman Academy. To give you all the information you need to know, scan the QR code for more information or contact Mrs. B at the email address shown here.
Tomorrow, Homestead will be hosting a booth at the Downtown Taste of the Arts Festival. Make sure to stop by, say hi, and grab a bite to eat while you enjoy the different cultures on display.
Our first 2 full weeks of school are coming to a close, and we're officially off to the races. But what can we expect for the last week of August? Sophia Virgilio joins us now to tell us what we need to know for next week's Flex Day. And Sophie, many of us have been through a Flex Day before, but it's still nice to be reminded of what we can expect.
That's right, Mara. Next Thursday, August 31st, will be our first Flex Day of the year. If you have younger siblings in the district, be sure to remind them that it will be a regular school day for them, as only Homestead students will be learning from home. All students, you will not have the option to come into school next Thursday. You must complete your assignments from home. Other than that, it will be like any Flex Day we've had before. Students who are new to the district or who need a refresher, check your Canvas agenda to find your Flex Day assignments. Any missing Flex Day assignments will result in a parent excused absence, so be sure to submit all of your work for attendance purposes. If you have computer issues, try restarting your laptop or email one of our technology specialists. Your teachers will be available to answer your questions from noon to 2:30. Enjoy next week's day off from attending school, but be sure to find time to complete all of your work.
Thank you, Sophia.
With the new school year comes many new faces, including teachers.
HHS In Depth reporter Jaron Ellis is in now with a story over some new teachers' experiences at Homestead so far.
Over summer, Homestead hired 60 new teachers. With many new faculty members in the building, it can be a great opportunity to get to learn some of their faces you may have never seen before.
I teach U.S. history and I also teach the We the People class. Before Homestead, I have taught for the past 6 years over at Warsaw Community High School, and then 6 years I taught in Ohio in public and private schools before that.
The last 20 years, I have been teaching at Huntington North High School. I was teaching U.S. history and AP U.S. history.
With so many schools around the nation looking for new teachers every year, it draws a question to why our new teachers chose Homestead.
What drew me to Homestead was my family, actually. I live in the district, and I was driving a longer distance to Huntington North, and so I felt this would be potentially a good change for me and my family.
Whether Homestead's new teachers have past teaching experiences or not, they have enjoyed their time here so far.
Homestead has got a great welcoming kind of atmosphere. It's really nice to see the attitudes and the reception that I've gotten from both the students and the administration and the other teachers.
I like the fact there are high expectations here for teachers and students. And the students that have been in my class so far have been really good. So I appreciate that.
Mr. James and Mr. Saddington aren't the only new teachers to Homestead this year. They joined this long list of new teachers calling HHS their home this school year. If you get the chance to meet one of these new teachers, make sure to introduce yourself and show them what Homestead's all about. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Jaron Ellis.
Thanks, Jaron. Make sure to welcome any of those new teachers if you happen to spot them in the hallways. As school undergoes constant changes, let's now explore the upcoming club schedule and opportunities for students. Young Americans for Freedom will meet today after school in room 718. The Minority Student Union's first meeting of the year will be in room 611 today. Psychology Club's call-out meeting will be today after school in room 714. And the Students Against Destructive Decisions will be having a call-out meeting on Monday at 2:40 in room 714.
More clubs taking place over the next week. Environmental Club's first meeting of the year is on Monday in Mrs. Merkling's room 204 at 2:45. FCCLA will meet after school until 3:30 on Tuesday in room 121. K-Pop Club has a call-out meeting Friday afternoon, September 1st in room 924 until 3:30. And finally, Women in STEM Club will have a call-out meeting on Tuesday, September 12th in Mrs. Odell's room 906. We'll be right back.
Many of our athletic teams were in action this past week, including a few tournaments last Saturday. I'll be back with this week's Down to the Wire in a few minutes to break it all down.
Welcome back to HHS In Depth.
We're back on HHS In Depth. And Mara, I have been wondering the whole show whether or not the weather will be any nicer next week.
Luckily, our weather reporter, Owen Kruger, is in the studio and ready to fill you in on next week's weather.
Thanks, Emily and Mara. This weekend will be a nice relief from the heat we've experienced all week long, with today being the warmest day for the foreseeable future. You can expect partly cloudy skies and 86 degrees when the school day ends, and a pleasant evening for a football game in Noblesville later tonight. As for Saturday, we'll drop all the way down to a high of 79 with partly cloudy skies and a nice cool night down into the 50s. And Sunday is looking even better with mostly sunny skies and a high of 76. Overnight, Sunday drops down to 52, so be sure to take a break from your homework and enjoy this nice weather outdoors. Looking ahead to next school week. As we hit the final week of August, the weather for the week will continue to stay out of the 80s and with a high on Monday of 76. Tuesday and Wednesday will be sunny and in the high 70s. Thursday will be back up to 81 degrees. An absolute perfect weekend and school week lies ahead for us weather-wise. I hope everyone can enjoy the outdoors while we can. Back to you, Emily and Mara.
Thank you for the report, Owen. I'll definitely take your advice and go outside next week. As temperatures drop, we turn our attention to a different kind of progress. Students may have noticed some new areas that have opened around the school recently, and reporter Luke Ryan will give us a look into what is new in construction.
If you've taken a trip around Homestead recently, you may have noticed some new areas of the building that are open to students and staff. Today we'll be taking a quick look into what's open.
When looking on the outside of Homestead, the progress may look slow compared to what the inside looks in the new parts. The new addition of the band area makes it more convenient for students that are in band after practice. They are able to have their own lockers and door to get into the building after using the field. The choir, orchestra, band, and theater room will be in this new area. Moving on to the next area is the door next to the band field parking, door 33. This door is next to the gray box in the new HHS in-depth room. These are the only two areas of the building that were completely built from scratch, but the renovations in the upstairs room are in progress, and we can see the rooms have clear doors and new clocks. Nevertheless, some rooms are still in progress. Down the stairs is some cool art the students drew on the wooden boards, so be on the lookout for these new areas.
So now that we've taken a look into the new parts of the building, make sure when you're walking around, you take a trip into these new parts because it did take a lot of time to build them. I'm Luke Ryan reporting for HHS In Depth.
Thank you, Luke, for the update on the Homestead construction project. From building up our school to breaking records on the field, let's take a look at Down to the Wire, where Graham DeWitt will recap the past week's athletics.
Welcome back to Down to the Wire. I'm Graham DeWitt. With another week coming to a close, most fall sports are underway and some have just started their seasons. Let's start with a recap of some of our teams that were in action this past week. Both our boys and girls cross-country teams ran in the Zionsville Invitational last Saturday. Out of 21 teams, the girls took first place while our boys took fifth. In the girls' race, Addison Canablo and Katarina Perego came in first and second place overall, respectively. Both teams will be running again tomorrow morning at the Taylor Invite. Our girls' soccer team was also in action this past weekend as they competed in the South Bend St. Joe tournament. In 3 games, they went 2-1, beating South Bend St. Joe 3-1, losing to HSC 0-3, and getting their final win over Evansville Memorial 6-2. They'll be going up against Mount Vernon tomorrow afternoon. Last Monday, the girls' volleyball team beat Warsaw in 3-1. Kate Jackway had 29 assists, Madeline Sipe had 16 digs, and Addie Tyndall had 12 kills. They will play again tomorrow at the Carroll Classic. The girls' golf team was in action last Tuesday against Columbia City with an incredible score of 145. Cassie Ayers led the way shooting a 33, Eliza Sauls shot 36, Scarlett Sank shot 37, and Bree Knoll shot a 39. They will compete in the Hall of Fame Classic tomorrow. The boys' tennis team beat Canterbury on Monday 5-0 and came back and beat Bishop Dwenger on Tuesday 5-0 as well. In the match against Dwenger, everyone in both singles and doubles swept both sets 6-0. Their match last Wednesday at Leo was called off due to extreme heat and has been rescheduled to September 18th. They play again tonight at Carmel. Yesterday's flag football game versus Warsaw was also called off due to the weather. The game has now been rescheduled for Tuesday, September 5th. Attention girls basketball players. There will be a short informational meeting on Tuesday, August 29th for any girl interested in playing basketball this school year. Interested players should meet Coach Parker outside the athletic office at 2:50 p.m. There will also be a call-out meeting for anyone interested in trying out for the baseball team this spring on Wednesday, August 30th after school from 2:40 to 3 p.m. in the cafeteria. Please stop and see Coach Byall in room 718 if you have any questions. Tonight, our football team begins game 1 of 2 straight road games, and they will be traveling all the way down to Noblesville. The theme is Sea of Blue, and kickoff is at 7:30. This will be the second and final 7:30 kickoff for football this year, with the rest of our games starting at 7 going forward. Thank you for watching this week's edition of Down to the Wire. I'm Graham DeWitt. Mara, Emily, back to you.
All right, thank you, Graham. This has been HHS In Depth. Make sure to check our socials for updates on the HHS In Depth team and our upcoming projects.
There are only 8 weeks of school left until fall break and 18 weeks until the semester ends. Stay strong, Spartans, and have an amazing rest of your Friday, and we'll catch you back again here next week.
See you next Friday, Homestead.